Oh, hi everyone, Tenthony Fortano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and Ed Sheeran is getting weird. That's right, I've heard a little something odd about Eddie Sheeran's suppression ring. Pop up in the comments if you get that reference. Anyway, if you haven't been paying attention lately to the work and the life of one of pop's biggest stars and songwriters here, which I know that, my audience, Ed Sheeran's audience, historically, not a whole lot of crossover. I think that kind of bears out in the fact that there haven't really been a whole lot of requests in my comments from what I have seen personally to, talk about and analyze his latest full-length LP, Play. I have sampled quite a bit of the album myself and, no surprise, I'm not a huge fan. In fact, for an album that comes out during an era, during a time period when Ed is essentially, just like kind of working for himself now and putting out music on his own like little gingerbread man imprint label. It's a very predictable project that more than anything kind of plays it safe given the commercial highs Ed has hit in the past on projects like Divide and Equals, which is sort of unfortunate because, even if his Autumn Variations record back from 2023 was a little bland, hearing him come through with this random stripped back acoustic project and celebration of this label move, at least to me, sort of felt like he was beginning to dip his toes into a new era of creative freedom and maybe possibly do a bit more artistic risk-taking into the future with his sounds, production, themes, songwriting. But if anything, Play pretty much says, nope, that is not happening, outside of maybe doing something with a bit of an Indian flair to it, I guess you could say. But Ed is no stranger to, playing with instrumental palettes or influences that may come across as, culturally exotic to a Western audience. So yeah, again, kind of disappointing to hear such an unadventurous record from Edward. However, don't let this album fool you, because apparently Ed actually has some pretty big and strange plans for the future, because apparently in a new Zane Lowe interview, Mr. Sheeran, in promotion of this new record, also simultaneously confirms he is working on what is essentially like a musical will, or an album, at least from the way he is explaining it, will not see the light of day until he is dead. And you wouldn't believe it, but apparently the working title for this project right now is Eject.
Yeah, well, no, it would be Stop and then Eject. Eject is the album in the will.
It's so funny, the image of me to
it's
me.
Actually in my will. It's actually in my will, and Cherry gets to pick the tracks for it. It's fully it's in there if I were to go tomorrow.
What is? I don't understand. What do you mean? It's in your will?
My will of wishes is to make a record out of all the songs from the age of 18 to when I pass away.
Called Eject.
Choose the 10 best. And it's imagine if Paul McCartney dies and there's early 16-year-old Beatles recordings and then right up to it, the 10 best of his entire career. I think lots of people won't like that of me, but there'll be lots of my fans that would find that super interesting.
And it only comes out
after I'm dead, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yes, Ed Sheeran is currently writing his death album, and it's titled Eject, which honestly has to be about one of the most metal things I've ever heard. But simultaneously, I do feel like this does address a long controversial issue and problem we have been seeing in the music industry as of late. Because in an era where it's just so easy now to slap together any random collection of tracks into a track list, upload it to the internet, and call it an album, an EP, a mixtape, whatever, we have just been inundated with posthumous record after posthumous record after posthumous record every single time an artist of note suddenly passes away. And a lot of these albums, in my opinion, are just labeled very deceptively, as many of them read more like compilations than they do albums. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of regard for the overall quality of these projects too. And sometimes the way the vault material, these records, are based based off of is treated and remixed and placed in certain contexts with different beats or features that weren't originally intended to be there. These sorts of records just lead to a lot of rightful fan outrage and just feel like an act of disrespect to the artists themselves. You really have to question, would this person have wanted this album to come out? Would they have wanted this body of work to represent their artistry and their image?
You know how posthumous albums come out?
Yeah.
But they're sort of unplanned. I want to sort of make a plan.
You want the estate to take care of it and do it properly.
Yeah.
And it's called eject.
And I'll talk to Cherry throughout my life of like, I really like this one, I really like this one, I really like this one.
It's really, actually, that's really cool, man. But as far as you living on this earth for a long time to come.
Yeah, but you never know. You never know. And I don't want to go and someone just to jumble up stuff and put it out. I want it to be planned.
And again, this sort of thing is not only becoming a bigger and bigger problem in the music industry, but simultaneously, it's also just becoming like more common practice. Like, again, every single time an artist of note passes away, it's like we all just collectively expect at this point for the music industry to just rush out a project of some sort of whatever they can get their hands on. I think Ed, in his own way, is very smartly recognizing this trend and apparently nipping this issue in the bud by just writing all the songs he would want to drop on a posthumous record beforehand, writing them, finalizing them, approving them, and apparently he's also having his wife involved when it comes to like the final say of the songs that make it onto the project. You know, I really appreciate Ed wanting to give us like an all killer, no filler type record here. No BS, no interludes, no long-winded numbers that go nowhere. Pick the 10 best ones and leave it at that. And let me remind you, like, Ed is considering all of this and thinking about this process at the tender age of 34. And I have to wonder what all of you are thinking about this in the comments. Because is this like really truly the cute, sweet, endearing aha moment that it's being portrayed to be? Or is this merely a man like coming to grips with the horrible reality that the music industry is going to continue exploiting him in some way, shape, or form even after he's passed away? So might as well put in the effort before he's gone to sort of like, you know, control how exactly that happens in advance. Like, is this the sort of thing a musician should have to worry about? And again, naming this album Eject is fucking crazy. But with that being said, those are my thoughts on this whole thing. Let me know yours. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Ed Sheeran, Eject forever.